Hey guys, welcome back. So today we are talking about the Lizzie Borden case. Now a lot of you have probably heard of it, and for good reason. It's very creepy and it's frightening the fact that it's an unsolved mystery. So we're gonna get into it and talk about the theories and what really happened. So let's just get started. So Andrew Borden in 1847 moved to Massachusetts with his wife and his two daughters, and one of the daughters was Lizzie Borden. So sadly, Lizzie's mother, she ended up passing away. So a couple of years later, Andrew Borden remarried a woman named Abby, and this was Lizzie's stepmother, and it turned out that they didn't have the best of a relationship. It was tense. Lizzie didn't really like her or respect her, and it caused a lot of tension. They didn't communicate, and this caused even more tension with Andrew Borden and Lizzie. So Lizzie was basically described as a strange girl. She was very quiet. She didn't interact much with people. But interestingly enough, she was described as having a little bit of an anger problem. Now, I'm not sure if this is true, but if it is, just kind of keep that in mind. So Andrew was, to put it truthfully, extremely cheap and frugal. He was a wealthy man, he had a great business, but he liked to live below his means. So basically meaning that he could afford luxurious things, but he refused to even get things of the basic necessity. So for example, he refused to have their home equipped with plumbing and electricity. Now, those are some basic necessities, you know. With a man that has a lot of money, you have to wonder why he would, refuse to have these things in his home. In their home lived their maid, and her name was Bridget Sullivan, but she went by the name of Maggie. So one day, the whole Borden family came down with a strange illness, like food poisoning, and they were violently ill and vomiting for days nonstop. And this caused Abby, the stepmother, to visit a doctor and ask, hey, could somebody have put something in our food? Would this be a reason as to why we are feeling like this? Now, it makes sense if Lizzie was trying to murder them. Maybe she started with some food poisoning, and that is something to really think about. In 1892, both Abby and Andrew were found in their home, and they were murdered with an axe. So Andrew had 11 axe marks to his head and face, and Abby was found upstairs with 18 hacks to her head. So this seems very personal. This seems very aggressive and kind of like overkill. The people in the house that day were Andrew, Abby, Lizzie, and Maggie, who was the maid. And Andrew was found first. He was downstairs and he was sleeping on a couch. And Abby was found upstairs and she was lying on the floor. So a broken axe head was actually found in the basement, but come to find out there was no blood on it. It was clean. We don't know if that was a murder weapon exactly, but there was literally no evidence. And keep in mind, this is in 1892, so this was far before DNA testing and forensics, etc. So, they didn't really have much to go on. So Lizzie claims that she was in the barn when Andrew and Abby were murdered, and she claims that she heard a noise inside the house, and that when she went in, that is when she found Andrew and Abby deceased. Upon the police questioning her, her story had changed multiple times. She couldn't keep the facts straight, and not only that, but she was emotionless. This is very eerie, if she wasn't guilty, you would think she would have some remorse or some empathy that her father and stepmother were just murdered, but she was cold, and it was said that she didn't even cry one time. So it was reported that on the day of the murders, someone had seen Lizzie in her backyard burning a dress of hers. Now, when questioned about this, she says that it was completely a coincidence, that it had nothing to do with, her cleaning up a crime scene or anything like that, and still the police had no evidence on her. They had no real physical evidence. So They did arrest her and she was in jail for a brief amount of time, but they did have to let her go due to lack of evidence. So let's talk about the theories. If we believe that, it's widely believed that Lizzie is the murderer, why would she do it? There would have to be a good reason. So the first theory is that Lizzie was basically tired of living in her father's cheapness and frugalness, and she wanted to kind of get rid of him in order to receive his will and his money. Now the second theory is a little bit more dark. It's speculated that it's possible that Lizzie was inappropriately touched in some way by her own father. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Lizzie, it has been said that she told one of her friends that this was going on. So whether or not it's true, we don't know, but it could be a theory. I mean, that amount of anger built up inside, for someone who would do that to you, it seems plausible that, maybe she wanted her revenge and just wanted to get rid of him. Now, the last theory is about a guy who was an ex-business partner of Andrew. And, again, there's no real evidence, but it's speculated that he could have been jealous of Andrew and his success, and maybe that drove him to murder. But that doesn't explain why he would murder Abby, Andrew's wife. So to me, it just seems like a personal murder, someone that knew them and really despised them for some reason. You don't do that to someone that you like. It was very crime of passion type of thing. But the house is reportedly haunted, and I believe you can go there and take a haunted tour if you dare. People have seen the apparitions of both Andrew, Abby, and Lizzie, actually, and occasionally they will even have some violent encounters with the spirits and entities that are still in that house. So it wouldn't surprise me. I don't know, would you guys ever go there? Is that something that you would be interested in, or you're like, no thanks? So let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, it helps me out a lot, and let me know what you think about this case and what happened. So thank you guys for watching.